What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. So right now we are wrapping up the final day of stage 1 of MSI. I'm recording this during the Cloud9 Infinity Esports game, or Infinity Gaming, whatever they're called, Gillette Infinity. I didn't really want to watch that game because there was some really big news that was actually being confirmed in the LEC. So I wanted to get to that. Obviously, this stuff I think is really interesting. MSI has been fun. I've been watching a ton of that as well, and we will definitely break down what happened in the group stage of MSI, and also my predictions for Rumble, breaking down the Rumble stage and all that throughout this week, because we do have a couple of days, obviously, before there's some more games. But big news coming out of the LEC today regarding Fnatic, regarding their jungle situation, regarding Vitality. Some huge moves, some huge swaps being made in the LEC today, and even some of those players are hinting at that. You see right here, we have a little Twitter thread from Leader saying, if the rumors are true, what the fuck, such a toxic team. Selfmade saying, how'd you even find a team if you can only play Zed and Aurelia? Leader responding with 0 Orianna and Syndra games. Ha, good luck to that guy. Definitely a ton of banter, definitely a ton of back and forth going on, but what we also got today was some big confirmation about a lot of these moves a ton of you guys have been asking about, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second and smash that like button. I would appreciate it so much. Really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm, getting my videos out to more and more people, and subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content so you guys don't miss out on anything. With that being said, let's get right into this. So why are we looking at these tweets from Leader? Why is Leader tweeting this stuff out? Why is Selfmade trying to flame him? Why is he clapping back? What is going on here? And the big news that we actually got from Pablo Suarez, Blue GG, Jacob Wolf, all these guys today, is that sources Vitality to buy out Selfmade and Leader for 2021 LEC Summer Split roster. Now, this is the rumor that we had been hearing for a while. You know, guys like Wooloo, guys like ZSXZ, guys like that had been tweeting this stuff out. But once we get this from, like, Jacob Wolf, once we get this from, like, Dot Esports, like, these are the guys who, especially Jacob Wolf, he does not really tweet stuff out until it's pretty dang close to official, pretty dang close to confirmed. He's never the first one, he's never the fastest one, but by the time it gets to Jacob Wolf, and by the time he has actually tweeted it out, made an article, all that stuff, you can be pretty dang sure it's happening. So I did have a lot of people asking, like, what's going on in Fnatic jungle? Is Selfmade for sure gone? Is this just a rumor? Is this just crazy speculation? What's going on? But it is looking more and more like Selfmade is officially out of Fnatic. A big question left still there is this Fnatic kicking Selfmade? Is this Fnatic wanting to move on? Is this Selfmade wanting to move on? You know, we did get the story earlier on in the offseason that Selfmade chose to not renew his contract with Fnatic, meaning he wanted to at least test free agency in the offseason. During that meeting, did he tell Fnatic, yeah, guys, I'm not coming back. No matter what, you know, I'm done. I'll you know, obviously I have to finish out my contract, but I'm not coming back to Fnatic in the future. Or are Fnatic like, you know, Selfmade, you didn't have a very good split. Our team's kind of falling apart. We'd like to sell you and make some money, because that is the big thing here. Fnatic is selling off Selfmade to Vitality. Vitality is a very rich organization. Yes, they are only buying one split of Selfmade. Maybe Selfmade will re-sign longer with Vitality. Maybe he won't. You know, we'll see very soon in the near future once that contract actually gets into the database, because free agency actually doesn't start till May 24th, so we won't know anything till then. Still 13 more days. But we saw a guy like Adam get sold for, like, what, I think the rumor was 250K, maybe 200K, 300K, something like that. So if Adam, if European Regional League players are going for something like that, and Abadage is getting sold off to 100 Thieves for potentially $1 million, you know, what is Selfmade getting sold off to Vitality for? We've heard about Fnatic potentially being an organization that's hurting as far as, you know, financials go and needing some money and stuff. Being able to sell off a guy like Selfmade, who at certain points in his career has been considered maybe the best jungler, at least the second best jungler in Europe. I don't really think he's considered that right now, but the potential's there, the talent's there, and in the right meta, he can absolutely carry games. So this is the big confirmation coming from Jacob Wolf, coming from Bloop, coming from Dot Esports. Vitality has reached verbal agreements, again, just verbal, nothing's official until the 24th, verbal agreements to buy out Selfmade and Leader as its new mid-jungle starting duo for the summer split. Vitality is also signing Mouse Esports' head coach, Realistic. Realistic will be joining the coaching staff. He's just going to be an assistant coach, and Vitality has declined to comment about this. Obviously, I don't really think they're even allowed to talk about anything until the free agency period actually starts. Selfmade will leave by Fnatic after a year and a half with the League of Legends team. He came to the organization after a stellar rookie year on SK in 2019. And his first year on Fnatic, he earned reputation as one of the best junglers in the region. That's what makes this crazy. This was just last year. Headed into the season, people were talking about Selfmade being maybe the best jungler, being maybe the guy that's going to carry Fnatic this year, maybe put them over the top of like a G2, maybe be the guy who's able to take them back to a world semifinal, a world final. And then just one split later, he's out of the team and he's getting replaced by Whippo jungle. He's getting replaced by Hades jungle. Like, this stuff is absolutely insane. I don't think anyone saw this coming. You know, we heard that this was going to be a crazy offseason. We knew that Fnatic was going to have to make some moves with a ton of expiring contracts and a very, very poor showing in the spring split. But selling off Selfmade never really seemed like the move to me. Then obviously also Leader will be coming in. He's going to have his second chance in the LEC. He played a couple games with Misfits in 2019. We'll take a look at how those games went and stuff. So, you know, they are moving Leader and his coach over to Vitality at the same time. This is very, very interesting. And as I say at the bottom, this rounds out the new Vitality lineup. Vitality, one of the worst teams in the LEC in spring split. They finished last, right? I mean, that was pretty crazy. But now all of a sudden their new starting lineup is going to be SLT, the top laner for Berlin International Gaming, Selfmade, Leader, Crownshot, and Lebrov. You know, they, if you count the Crownshot, acquisition happening in the middle of the season, 4 new players from what we saw at the beginning of spring split for Vitality. And all of a sudden, they're going from maybe the bottom team, probably the worst team in the LEC, to maybe a playoff team for sure, but maybe a top 4 team. Some people are saying maybe a top 3 team, maybe a Worlds team. You know, I don't know. I think that might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but this team is going to be a ton of fun to watch. It's going to be an aggressive, fast-paced, crazy team with a ton of potential and a ton of talent, and honestly a lot of young players that they're building for the future as well. Vitality got a huge upgrade in the summer split. They're going to be a scary team that nobody's going to want to play, and they're going to be built for the future, you know, years ahead. If Vitality can develop these players well, if they believe in their coaching staff and their infrastructure and all that, then this could be a very, very good team. Also on the other side, Fnatic, all of a sudden, this was like the 5th place team. They're slowly moving down a lot of people's rankings, you know. How is Adam going to be in the top lane compared to Blippo? How is Blippo going to be in the jungle compared to Selfmade or Hades or whoever ends up jungling for them? We don't even know exactly what the Fnatic roster is going to be, but it doesn't seem like it'll be an upgrade over what we saw in the spring, even though in the spring we saw a terrible playstyle, a lot of inting, kind of lack of cohesion, lack of just coaching, it looked like, just a lack of game plan, a lack of synergy. Even though we saw Upset popping off a lot, the Fnatic team really struggled, and if they have some downgrades on the roster and they start selling off players and getting younger and building for the future, this could be a team that maybe doesn't even make the playoffs in the summer split, and that would really be crazy. So originally, getting back to these tweets, obviously this is Leader and Selfmade kind of confirming a lot of the rumors. You know, once this story started getting out, Leader saying if the rumors are true, obviously it's coming from the man himself, so that's funny. But Selfmade talking about how did you find a team if you can only play Zed and Aurelia? That is the interesting part here. So a lot of people have asked me, like, how good is Leader? What's the deal with him? Who is this guy? You know, people who maybe don't watch European regional leagues, people who are new to the LEC, or people who are like Americans and don't watch LEC at all, and they're just kind of curious who this guy is. That's the interesting part. So like we said, this guy, you know, he's been around a while. He's 21 years old. We saw him in Misfits Academy. We actually saw him Misfits in summer of 2019. Got to play in the LEC for a little bit, and then most recently he's been on Mouse for the last 3 splits. But the big thing with this guy, he's very, very talented. One of the better European Regional League mid laners for sure. Very, very talented. But the thing is, he plays a lot of melee champions, and he doesn't play a lot of control mages. We go back to his time in the LEC, summer split 2019. First of all, stats pretty bad. He did not do well in the LEC. He had a 1.32 KDA in 12 games. His team went 4-8. You know, he wasn't on a great team, obviously, but it's not like he was like carrying them by any means. But he played Yasuo 3 games, Kiana 2 games, Zed 2 games, Aurelia 2 games, Sylas 2 games, Akali 1 game, all melee champions. Did not play a single range champion. You know, I can't exactly remember what the meta was in summer 2019, but I know that's what was going on. We fast forward to 2021, his most recent splits in like the the league he's playing in. I believe it's the German league, where his most played is Aurelia, Yone, Zed. He does have some Lucian, but he went 0-2. Akali, Echo, Kassadin, more melees. He did go 1-0 on Rise, Yasuo 1-0, and then Azir and Vayne 0-1. So still a whole lot of melees. And when he plays those ranged champions, the control mages, or even some of the other champions, the win rates aren't great. The stats usually aren't great. Then they have the playoffs, 2-0 on Yone, 0-2 on Rise, 1-0 on Lucian's good to see, 0-1 on Silas. And then in European Masters, he did have a couple Silas games, a couple of Kali games, went 1-1 on Victor, Yone, Zed, Lucian, Rise, 0-1. I mean, they're kind of memeing about it. They're saying like, oh, 0 Orianna and Cinder games, ha ha ha, good luck to this guy. But that is a legitimate concern. Leader is a very, very talented player, but when you look at the stats, and somebody tweeted out the stats the other day, I think he has like a 6 KDA on melees and like a 1.5 KDA on range champions or something crazy like that. And the professional meta, the professional playstyle, maybe Leader's going to come into the LEC and change everything up, and everyone's going to start playing melees and Aurelia and Zeds and all that. But historically, it is way better to be a professional mid laner as a control mage player, as a range player. If you're going to be good at one or the other, you'd really much rather be better at just control mages and maybe try and learn how to play the other stuff. A guy like Power of Evil, he's not very good at the melee champions. He's not very good at the assassins and crazy picks like that. But he's made a career out of himself, and he's made a ton of money and won a ton of games being damn good at control mages. And a guy like Leader, who's pretty much the exact opposite of Power of Evil, maybe a little shakier on the range champions, but so good at the melees. He is really, really good at them. They're just easier to punish in pro play, less wave clear, like you can play around them a lot easier. You don't scale necessarily as hard with a lot of these champions. They're a little bit more exploitable, unless you're just absolutely insane. But when the other team knows what you're going to pick, they can kind of game plan around it. A guy like that. On the other side, Leader, he's struggling to even get a spot in the LEC, even though he is popping off in European Masters a lot of the time. So, that's kind of the two sides of the same coin there. I just feel like you'd much rather be the Power of Evil guy. So yeah, they are kind of memeing it and stuff, but the other rumor out there is that Vitality was allegedly looking at other mid laners, and I definitely believe that. I'm sure they looked at a lot of people, but the story is that Selfmade wanted to play with Leader. The story is that this is the guy Selfmade wanted. Going out and getting Leader helped Vitality actually land Selfmade as well. So if this is the guy Selfmade wants, hopefully there'll be some built-in synergy there. Hopefully they'll play really, really well together. And if Selfmade believes that he is an LEC caliber mid laner and also believes that their playstyles can coexist and that they can pop off on a team, hopefully that will actually come to fruition for Vitality. So this Vitality team looks like huge upgrades on paper. They look like they're going to be a ton of fun. They're definitely going to get a ton of new fans. They are this team with a ton of money. They're looking to spend. They're looking to make big upgrades all over. They're looking to be competitive. They're trying to spend and become a Worlds caliber team. They want to go to Worlds. They absolutely do, and they have a chance to now. And this team is going to be very, very fun and exciting. But again, there are definitely some concerns as well. Selfmade, not coming off the best split with Fnatic. SLT, he's going to be a big question mark in the top lane. He has a ton of potential, but will he actually, do well? Leader, a ton of question marks as well. Crownshot did pretty well. Lebrov, him and Crownshot seem to have some synergy. We'll see how all that works out. But this is kind of the big news coming out. Officially, Selfmade gone from Fnatic, going to Vitality. Vitality making a ton of big moves. Fnatic seems to be getting worse. Vitality seems to be getting better. We do have some people out there making some big picks already. I know Zers is saying that Vitality is going to be a top 3 team, and he's going to pin this to prove people wrong. His kind of projected thing is going to be G2 Mad and Vitality going to Worlds with Rogue being on the outside looking in. That would be pretty interesting. I don't know. People are getting really, really hyped up about Vitality, and rightfully so. They're making some big moves, and definitely watch out. But that is pretty much it for this video today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate if you did drop a like. It helps me out a ton of the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this move for Vitality? You think it's good, bad, whatever? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Do you think Fnatic is screwed not having Selfmade in the jungle? I don't know. Subscribe, stay up to date on my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!